Hello, my name is Martin Weltis and I am the Managing Director for Manage Group. We specialise in government compliance, especially ACC and WorkSafe. This video blog is all about the updated ACC process around pre-employment forms, which are really quite ideal for when you're recruiting new staff. So what I'm going to do is just take you through that update and by sharing my screen. So just bear with me for 2 ticks. There we go. And so the ACC pre-employment process is ultimately where you can get the candidate's ACC information, which is incredibly useful because we actually do need to know who we are employing, especially if it's higher risk-based work, blue-collar type stuff. Now, ACC have updated this process, but in order to talk about the update, we just do need to understand what was currently in place, and which was a very manual process. Basically, the candidate completes what's called the ACC 6213 form. Look, I'll explain that. It's just one form from ACC that basically states, I, Martin Weltis, give you, my potential employer, the right to get my ACC history for pre-employment purposes. I include an ID, so ACC can verify who I am by a license, the ID cards, passports, that type of thing. And then it will provide a list of claims that go back 10 or so years, but does not include traumatic brain injury or sensitive claims, sexual trauma, that type of thing. And fair enough, that's quite personal. Typically, this process did take between 2 to 4 weeks. And like a typical Kiwi employer, we needed someone yesterday. We cannot necessarily wait 2 to 4 weeks to get this report, so we tended to recruit anyway. So it wasn't all that useful. The new process, though, is much, much better. And this has literally been released just recently. And it's very much a candidate-driven process. So what happens is that the candidate phones up a dedicated ACC line, 0800 080 273, and the ACC person will step the candidate through, setting them up on what's called My ACC. We all have My ACC with ACC. It's just our personal portal into the ACC space. Yeah, if we have an injury, that's how we manage it, or we get information, etc. The candidate will need to confirm their details, such as ID number, date of birth, that type of thing. Fairly standard when dealing with government. And through that process, the ACC staff member will end up making sure that the candidate receives either an email or a text with a verification code. This code is needed so that the candidate can go online into their My ACC and put in that verification code. Once done, they're set up. So it's really important that the candidate obviously does have access to internet, and you may want to think about, hey, can they actually do that when they're in our premise, as an example, where you can provide a computer. This is a screenshot of what comes up, and as you can see, the employer may ask you to get an ACC pre-employment check, rah-de-rah, and then there is a link. So the whole logic is that whilst the candidate is online, they click that link, and then that will take them to a page where they enter your email address, not their own, yours, because that's where the ACC history report will be sent to. So that kind of necessitates that you share your email address with them. So you may want to have a designated email address or a designated person who that goes to. Bear in mind, we have to respect the confidentiality of our recruits and that type of thing, which I'm sure you understand. Now, the good news is, well, 2 bits of good news. This is free, which is awesome. And just like the old one, and the other lovely bit of news is that ACC commits to sending out the report within 24 to 48 hours rather than 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. And we tested this, and Sue Walton, who manages our ACC risk space, she was on the phone. Within 2 minutes of her finishing the phone call, I, as the potential employer, received the report. 2 minutes. So that's pretty cool. This is just a wee snapshot of some of the things that can come up. Look, it varies from employee to employee, obviously. Sometimes we get multiple pages, as in quite a few pages, and that raises a bunch of flags, of course. And but lastly, just our thoughts around this. The old process does still work. So if a person cannot or does not have access to online, then obviously it's very difficult to do this. If a person doesn't necessarily want to do this, then you probably got your indication that they may not be the best fit for the role anyway. This is a change that we've advocated for quite strongly over the years because for the obvious reason, having to wait 2 to 4 weeks for a report is kind of counterproductive. So this thing really makes it timely and very useful, and it's, as I mentioned before, it is candidate driven. So it takes it, ultimately it's a delegation, isn't it? So it's not another thing you have to do. Our humble opinion, every employer should be doing this. And it's also incredibly beneficial when it comes to actually managing a claim, because we get to see pre-existing injuries, or if an injury is a re-aggravation, we actually got some evidence around what's been going on. Now, you may have a bunch of questions, guys, which we really welcome. You may have some ideas, some thoughts, or just you want to just bounce some stuff off us. Sue and I are the in-house experts at Managed Group, so please reach out to us, give us an email, give us a phone call, and we are more than happy to chat through this with you. We also have a fact sheet that will, again, just kind of imprint of what I've just gone through. So I really hope this has been of help, and invite you very warmly to reach out to us if we can be of help. Thank you very much.